An excuse we've heard for years is that UFO disclosure could cause economic collapse. Well, now it's popping up in the news. A former Bank of England analyst just sent a formal letter to the governor of the Bank of England warning him to prepare for total financial instability triggered by the United States confirming the existence of non-human intelligence. Let's just say the timing here is really interesting. In the last 2 years, we have seen SETI update their detection protocols for the first time in 15 years. The Vatican issued guidance on extraterrestrial contact. Congressional leaders are having meetings about UAPs. And now a Cambridge-educated financial analyst is warning central banks to prepare. Let's break down exactly what's going on. As always, I'm here to report the information without bias, and you can decide what to believe. You can find the sources in my detailed articles at ufonews.co, along with in the description box below. Hey followers, I'm Cristina Gomez, and welcome to this episode of Daily UFO News Updates. So who's making this claim? Helen McCaw spent 10 years at the Bank of England as a senior analyst in financial security. Her job was to prepare for events that could impact the economy, and she just wrote to Governor Andrew Bailey urging him to prepare for a scenario that really sounds like something that just came out of a movie. In her letter, she states that the U.S. government appears to be halfway through a multi-year process to declassify and disclose information on the existence of a technologically advanced non-human intelligence. She warned that if UAP proves to be of non-human origin, humanity may have to acknowledge the existence of a power or intelligence greater than any government with potentially unknown intentions. Her predictions are pretty specific. Extreme price fluctuations in financial markets, a collapse in confidence if people feel uncertain about how to price things, a rush for safe havens like gold and government bonds, or possibly a rush to Bitcoin if people lose trust in government-backed currencies entirely. But has Bitcoin ever really been trusted? However, her worst case scenario is very, very blunt. Within hours of a clear announcement, there will be total financial instability. Banks failing, payment systems collapsing, rioting because people cannot buy food or fuel. And this connects to a white paper she wrote in May of 2024 for the Soul Foundation, a policy group focused on preparing for a post-UAP world. In that report, she called on the Bank of England to raise UAP issues with the Financial Stability Board as global regulator can include a disclosure scenario in their extreme stress testing alongside pandemics and cyber attacks. And she's not the only one preparing documentation. In that same month, May of 2024, the Vatican published guidelines covering supernatural occurrences and the possibility of contact with aliens. The document advises bishops on how to respond to findings of an organic nature requiring scientific investigations. The interpretation is that the Vatican is positioning extraterrestrial life as being children of God. According to the Metro UK, the UK Department for Science, Innovation and Technology also issued an advisory report to the government on contact with aliens. It recommended increased funding for radio astronomy, expanded SETI programs, remember that one, and advanced signal processing for analyzing signals from space. So, we have financial institutions preparing, a religious institution preparing, and a government science department preparing. And then there's SETI. A few months ago, on October 21st, 2025, SETI released updated post-detection protocols. These defined procedures for handling confirmed detection of extraterrestrial techno-signatures. The previous version was published back in 2010. Before that was 1989, so this update comes after practically 15 years of silence. The old protocol focused on radio signals. The new version covers techno-signatures broadly, artificial structures, industrial atmospheric signatures, engineered electromagnetic emissions, and other technological indicators. But this one is the interesting one. The updated protocol explicitly prohibits individuals from transmitting replies to ET without prior United Nations consultation. Reception and analysis are permitted. Transmission is not. Any detection requires immediate reporting through official channels and international review before any response. Strange, don't you think? And why release this on the same day as the International Asteroid Warning Network, a global tracking campaign launched for 3i Atlas? The timing raises very serious questions. McCaw uses a term that has gained traction in policy circles: ontological shock. This traces back to psychiatrist John Mack, who used it in his 1994 UFO research. It describes the disorientation and anxiety people experience when their fundamental understanding of reality is completely shattered. Her concern is not just a stock market crash, it's a breakdown in how people perceive government, institutions, and reality itself. According to McCaw, markets do not crash because of facts. They crash because of the collapse of beliefs. But we're still not done, so stay with me, because it's not just analysts and agencies talking about this. Congressional leaders are actively engaging in this as well. Congressman Burchett, co-chair of the Congressional UAP caucus, recently spoke with Matt Laszlo from Ask a Poll on the topic of UFOs.
Meeting with Rubio go?
Yeah, I talked to Rubio.
How was that?
It was fine, but he's not a senator anymore. He is Secretary of State. So there's inference in some of the conversations that he's been misquoted in the past on some of this UFO stuff. But again, the president's got to come out with stuff.
Has Rubio looked into the issue from within the government?
I believe he has. I do. But
is he a part of the cover-up now, or
no? The more you dig, the more liars there are in this thing. I just don't trust anybody. I think a lot of people are lying just to get funding.
Yeah.
So, the co-chair of the Congressional UAP caucus addressed that Rubio has looked into UAP from within the federal government. But Burchett also expresses frustration with the level of deception surrounding this topic. The more you dig, the more liars there are. And it all has to do with funding. Well, if the economy collapses because of UFO disclosure, what then? What happens with the funding then? Now, whenever a story like this surfaces, people always ask about Project Bluebeam. And that's a theory from the 1990s claiming a staged ET event would be used to manipulate populations into accepting a one-world government. Is this article that we're addressing alluding to that? McCaw is not suggesting disclosure is fake. She is warning about the consequences if it is real. But the question is very fair. Whenever there is a discussion of managed disclosure, people wonder who controls the narrative and why. What makes McCaw's approach different is her focus on preparation. She is saying, even if you think disclosure is unlikely, it would be reckless not to have a plan. The governments of Canada and Japan have already engaged with the US on UAP, according to McCaw, and her hope is that the UK does the same. Now, McCaw addressed many of her friends think she's absolutely crazy, but one friend from the Bank of England told her, quote, "Helen, I believe you, but I hope I don't have to live in a world where this comes out." Connected or not, the timing of all of this is very difficult to ignore. What do you think? Is the world quietly preparing for UFO disclosure? Or is this preparation for something else entirely? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Cristina Gomez, and that is it for today. I will see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST for another daily UFO news update. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies. If you enjoyed today's show, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit the notification bell as I do daily UFO news and updates. Fresh UAP stories, government disclosures, and breaking developments land here every single day.